In the early hours of April 9, 1940, the city of Copenhagen was abruptly awakened by the sound of German tanks rolling through the streets and aircraft overhead. Denmark, a nation that had prided itself on its neutrality, found itself thrust into the chaos of World War II. The swift German invasion shattered the calm, forcing the Danish government to capitulate within hours. This marked the beginning of a complex relationship between the occupier and the occupied, characterized by a blend of reluctant cooperation and quiet defiance. When the German military established its presence, many Danes initially reacted with disbelief. The artistic and cultural circles in Copenhagen, vibrant and bustling, were particularly dismissive of the German occupation, viewing it as a temporary inconvenience rather than a profound threat to their way of life. The prevailing sentiment was that Denmark's strategic insignificance would shield it from the more brutal realities faced by other occupied nations. Life in the city continued with a semblance of normalcy. Cafes buzzed with conversation, and theaters staged performances, providing a comforting escape from the encroaching darkness. Yet, beneath this facade of calm, the realities of occupation began to seep into the daily lives of Copenhagen's residents. The German military presence grew increasingly pronounced, with patrols becoming a common sight along the cobbled streets. Restrictions were gradually imposed, curtailing freedoms and instilling a sense of unease among the populace. The Danish government, while maintaining a degree of autonomy, was compelled to comply with German demands, including the censorship of media and the suppression of dissent. This new reality posed a moral quandary for many, particularly those in the artistic community, who grappled with the implications of their work under a repressive regime. The theater technicians, once solely focused on the intricacies of lighting and sound, found themselves at a crossroads. The theater, a bastion of creativity and expression, was now subject to scrutiny and control. Scripts were vetted for subversive content, and performances were monitored for any signs of dissent. Yet, within this constrained environment, a seed of resistance began to take root. The technicians, skilled in the art of subtlety and nuance, recognized their unique position to subvert the occupiers' control. They began to contemplate the potential of their craft as a tool for resistance, sowing the seeds of what would become a clandestine network of communication. As 1941 drew to a close, the atmosphere in Copenhagen had shifted. The initial derision and disbelief gave way to a growing awareness of the occupation's permanence. The Danish resistance, though still in its infancy, began to coalesce, driven by a desire to reclaim autonomy and preserve national identity. Within this burgeoning movement, the theater technicians saw an opportunity to contribute, not through overt acts of defiance, but through the subtle manipulation of their art. The resistance prepared for a new chapter, one that would harness the power of creativity in the fight against oppression. The German occupation of Denmark was marked by a unique set of circumstances that distinguished it from the experiences of other European nations. Following the invasion, the Danish government opted for a policy of cooperation, believing that compliance would minimize the harshness of occupation. This approach allowed for a relatively lenient occupation, with Danish authorities retaining control over many aspects of daily life. However, this cooperation came at a cost, as it necessitated the suppression of dissent and the acceptance of German oversight in various sectors, including the arts. Copenhagen, the capital and cultural heart of Denmark, was a city of contrasts during this tumultuous period. Its picturesque canals, historic architecture, and vibrant street life stood in stark contrast to the grim realities of war. The city was home to a thriving artistic community, with theaters, galleries, and music venues serving as vital hubs of cultural expression. The Royal Danish Theatre, one of the most prestigious institutions in the country, became a focal point for both artistic innovation and political tension. By the time the occupation progressed, the German authorities imposed restrictions that affected all aspects of life in Copenhagen. Censorship became a pervasive force, with newspapers and publications closely monitored for any signs of dissent. Theaters were required to submit scripts for approval, and performances were often attended by German officers, who scrutinized the content for subversive messages. This atmosphere of surveillance created a palpable tension within the artistic community, where the stakes were high, and the consequences of defiance could be severe. In this context, the theater technicians found themselves navigating a precarious landscape. Their expertise in lighting, sound, and stagecraft became a double-edged sword. While it allowed them to create captivating performances, it also placed them under the watchful eye of the occupiers. The technicians were acutely aware of the risks associated with their work, yet they were also cognizant of the potential for their craft to serve as a vehicle for resistance. The logistics of resistance were complex, requiring careful planning and coordination among various groups. Traditional means of communication, such as telephone lines and postal services, were fraught with danger, as German authorities monitored these channels closely. Theaters, however, offered a unique advantage. They were places of gathering, where people could meet under the guise of attending performances. This environment provided fertile ground for the technicians to devise a plan that would allow them to use their performances as a cover for communication. The idea of using stage cues as signals was born out of necessity. The technicians, well versed in the art of subtlety, began to develop a system of signals that could be integrated into their performances. A particular sequence of lights, a specific sound cue, or a seemingly innocuous change in the timing of a scene could serve as a warning or signal to those in the audience who were part of the resistance. This method of communication allowed him to convey vital information without arousing suspicion from the German authorities. By the time the network of resistance began to take shape, the technicians faced the daunting task of maintaining secrecy. The success of their operation hinged on their ability to blend in, to maintain the facade of normalcy while executing their covert mission. This required a delicate balance, as any deviation from the norm could raise suspicions and jeopardize their efforts. The technicians worked tirelessly to refine their system, developing a series of codes and signals that could be adapted to different performances and venues. The birth of this secret network marked a turning point in the Danish resistance. It demonstrated the power of creativity and innovation in the face of adversity, highlighting the potential for art to serve as a vehicle for resistance. The technicians formerly focused solely on their craft had found themselves at the forefront of a daring operation. Their efforts would prove instrumental in the resistance's ability to communicate and coordinate, laying the groundwork for future operations that would challenge the German occupation. As the year 1942 unfolded, the theater community in Copenhagen became increasingly intertwined with the broader resistance movement. The technicians, stage managers, and performers recognized that their unique skills could be harnessed to support the fight against oppression. The theater, once a sanctuary for artistic expression, was transformed into a battleground for ideas, where the act of performance became an act of defiance. In this environment, the technicians began to forge alliances with other resistance groups, sharing information and resources to strengthen their collective efforts. Collaboration between the artistic community and the resistance deepened, creating a tapestry of solidarity that transcended the boundaries of occupation. The theater became a microcosm of resistance, where each participant played a vital role in the struggle for freedom. As the technicians honed their craft, they also expanded their network, enlisting the help of actors, playwrights, and even audience members who were sympathetic to the cause. The theater, with its dimly lit stages and hushed whispers, became a sanctuary for those seeking to defy the oppressive regime. Each performance was a delicate dance of artistry and subversion, where the technicians orchestrated a symphony of signals that communicated vital information to the resistance. The evolution of their methods was a testament to their ingenuity and adaptability. The technicians began to incorporate more complex signals into their productions, using music, props, and even costume changes to convey information. This evolution of their craft was not merely a response to the demands of the occupation, it was a reflection of their commitment to the cause of resistance. As the year progressed, the theater technicians of Copenhagen emerged as unsung heroes in the fight against tyranny. Their actions, though often shrouded in secrecy, were a powerful testament to the enduring spirit of resistance that characterized the Danish people. The theatre, once a place of entertainment, had become a crucible of creativity and defiance, where the power of art was harnessed to challenge oppression. In this way, the theatre technicians not only contributed to the resistance but also helped to redefine the role of art in society. Their innovative methods of communication and their willingness to take risks in the name of freedom served as a reminder that even in the darkest of times, the human spirit could not be extinguished. As the curtain fell on each performance, the technicians knew that their work was far from over, but their resolve remained strong, and their commitment to the cause unwavering. As the clandestine network of theatre technicians gained traction, the stakes grew higher. By 1943, the German authorities had become increasingly aware of resistance activities throughout Denmark, prompting a crackdown on suspected collaborators. Cultural institutions, including theatres, came under heightened scrutiny as the occupiers sought to root out subversive elements. This new reality posed a significant risk to the technicians, who operated under the constant threat of discovery. The German presence in Copenhagen was pervasive, with patrols and informants keeping a watchful eye on the city's inhabitants. Theatres, once considered safe havens for artistic expression, were now potential targets for raids and inspections. The technicians, acutely aware of the dangers, took meticulous precautions to safeguard their operations. Scripts were carefully vetted, and performances were rehearsed with precision to ensure that the signals remained undetectable to the untrained eye. Despite these precautions, the risk of exposure loomed large. A single misstep, a misplaced cue, or an ill-timed signal could unravel the entire operation, leading to severe repercussions for those involved. The technicians faced the dual pressures of maintaining artistic integrity while supporting the resistance, a delicate balance that required constant vigilance and adaptability. Tension mounted as they navigated this treacherous landscape, leading to a series of close calls that tested their resolve. One such incident occurred during a performance at the Royal Danish Theatre, a prestigious venue frequented by both locals and German officers. As the technicians prepared to execute a critical signal, a sudden power outage plunged the theatre into darkness. The disruption threatened to derail the operation, as the technicians scrambled to restore the lighting and maintain the illusion of normalcy. In the tense moments that followed, they managed to improvise, using the darkness to their advantage and successfully conveying the intended message to the resistance members in attendance. These moments of confrontation underscored the inherent dangers of their work, yet they also reinforced the technicians' commitment to the cause. Each successful operation bolstered their confidence and strengthened their resolve, as they continued to refine their methods and expand their network. The theatre, once a symbol of cultural expression, had become a battleground in the fight against oppression, where the act of performance was transformed into an act of defiance. As 1943 drew to a close, the technicians remained undeterred, driven by a shared sense of purpose and a belief in the power of their craft. Their ingenuity and bravery would prove instrumental in the resistance's efforts, as they continued to navigate the perilous landscape of occupation with unwavering determination. The tension of the times was palpable, and the technicians often found themselves in a precarious position. The atmosphere backstage was charged with a mix of excitement and fear, as the technicians prepared for each performance. They understood that the stakes were high, and the consequences of failure could be severe. The camaraderie among the technicians deepened, as they relied on one another for support and encouragement in the face of adversity. In the weeks leading up to a particularly significant performance, the technicians devised a plan to communicate critical information regarding an upcoming resistance operation. The performance was set to coincide with a gathering of key resistance leaders, and the technicians knew that their signals would be crucial in ensuring the success of the operation. They meticulously crafted a series of cues that would relay the necessary information without raising suspicion. As the night of the performance approached, the tension mounted. The technicians rehearsed their cues repeatedly, ensuring that every detail was flawless. They understood that the slightest mistake could expose their operation, and the weight of that knowledge hung heavy in the air. On the night of the performance, the theater buzzed with anticipation, the audience unaware of the hidden drama unfolding behind the scenes. As the curtain rose, the technicians took their positions, their hearts racing with adrenaline. The performance unfolded seamlessly, each actor delivering their lines with precision, while the technicians executed their cues with practiced ease. The atmosphere in the theater was electric, and the audience was captivated by the spectacle before them. Yet, beneath the surface, the technicians remained acutely aware of their mission. When the moment finally arrived, the technicians executed their signal flawlessly. A subtle change in lighting, a brief pause in the dialogue, and the audience remained oblivious to the significance of the cues being delivered. The resistance members in attendance, however, understood the gravity of the message being conveyed. The operation was a success, and the technicians breathed a sigh of relief as the performance concluded without incident. Yet, the victory was bittersweet. The close call served as a stark reminder of the precariousness of their situation. The technicians knew that they could not afford to become complacent. The threat of discovery was ever present. They continued to refine their methods, developing new signals and codes to stay one step ahead of the occupiers. As the year progressed, the technicians faced increasing pressure from the German authorities. The crackdown on resistance activities intensified, and the theater community found itself under siege. The technicians were forced to adapt to the changing landscape, employing new strategies to maintain their operations while minimizing the risk of exposure. In one particularly harrowing incident, a raid on a nearby theater resulted in the arrest of several resistance members. The news sent shockwaves through the community, and the technicians were left reeling from the implications. They understood that the walls were closing in, and the time for caution had passed. They needed to act decisively to protect their network and ensure the safety of their comrades. In response to the escalating threat, the technicians convened in secret to discuss their next steps. They recognized that they needed to diversify their methods of communication, creating a more robust system that could withstand scrutiny. The theater, with its myriad of possibilities, provided fertile ground for innovation. They began to experiment with new forms of expression, incorporating music, dance, and visual art into their performances as a means of conveying messages. The results were remarkable. The technicians discovered that by weaving their signals into the very fabric of their performances, they could communicate more effectively while maintaining the guise of artistic expression. The audience, captivated by the spectacle, remained unaware of the hidden messages embedded within the performances. As the technicians continued to refine their craft, they also forged deeper connections with the resistance community. The theater became a hub of collaboration, where artists and activists came together to share ideas and strategies. The camaraderie that developed among these unlikely allies was a source of strength and inspiration, fueling their determination to continue the fight despite the ever-present threat of discovery. The technicians' efforts did not go unnoticed. As word of their ingenuity spread, more individuals from the artistic community began to join their ranks. Actors, playwrights, and musicians rallied to support the resistance, recognizing the power of their collective voice in the face of oppression. The theater, once a place of entertainment, had transformed into a crucible of resistance, where creativity and defiance intertwined to forge a new narrative of hope and liberation. As 1943 came to a close, the technicians stood at a crossroads. The risks they faced were greater than ever, but so too was their resolve. They understood that their work was not just an act of defiance, but a vital contribution to the broader struggle for freedom. The theater, with its rich tapestry of stories and characters, provided a platform for the expression of ideas that transcended the boundaries of occupation. The technicians' commitment to their craft and their cause was unwavering. They knew that the road ahead would be fraught with peril, but they were determined to continue the fight. The theater, once a sanctuary of artistic expression, had become a battleground where the forces of creativity and oppression clashed in a silent war for the soul of Denmark. As they prepared for the challenges that lay ahead, the technicians drew strength from one another. Their shared experiences and unwavering commitment to the cause forged a bond that transcended the confines of the theater. They were not just technicians, they were warriors in a fight for freedom, using their craft as a weapon against tyranny. The confrontation with the occupiers was far from over, but the technicians remained resolute in their mission. They understood that their work was a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, the light of creativity could not be extinguished. As they took their places on the stage of history, the technicians knew that their legacy would endure, a testament to the power of art and the indomitable will of those who dared to dream of a better world. By 1944, the theater technicians of Copenhagen had honed their craft into a finely tuned instrument of resistance. The subtlety of their signals, once a fledgling idea born out of necessity, had matured into a sophisticated system that was both ingenious and effective. In the later years of the war raged on, the technicians' clandestine efforts began to bear fruit, providing the Danish resistance with a crucial edge in their struggle against the German occupiers. The theater, with its dimly lit stages and hushed whispers, became a sanctuary for those seeking to defy the oppressive regime. Each performance was a delicate dance of artistry and subversion, where the technicians orchestrated a symphony of signals that communicated vital information to the resistance. A flicker of light, a pause in dialogue, or the timing of a curtain drop, all seemingly innocuous elements of a play, were transformed into messages that could mean the difference between life and death. Reports of successful resistance operations began to filter through the underground network. In one instance, a planned roundup by the Gestapo was thwarted when a well-timed lighting cue alerted resistance members to the impending danger, allowing them to slip away into the night. Such victories, though small in scale, were monumental in their impact, bolstering the morale of a beleaguered populace and sowing seeds of doubt among the occupiers. Collaboration between the artistic community and the resistance deepened, creating a tapestry of solidarity that transcended the boundaries of occupation. The technicians, once mere custodians of the stage, found themselves at the heart of a movement that sought to reclaim Denmark's dignity and autonomy. Their work became a testament to the power of creativity and the spirit of those who refused to be silenced. As the technicians refined their methods, they expanded their network, enlisting the help of actors, playwrights, and even audience members who were sympathetic to the cause. The theater became a microcosm of resistance, where each participant played a vital role in the struggle for freedom. The camaraderie that developed among these unlikely allies was a source of strength and inspiration, fueling their determination to continue the fight despite the ever-present threat of discovery. The effectiveness of the technicians' signals did not go unnoticed by the German authorities, who intensified their scrutiny of cultural institutions. Yet, the very nature of theater, with its inherent unpredictability and artistic license, provided a cloak of plausible deniability that shielded the technicians from suspicion. The Germans, unfamiliar with the nuances of Danish theater, were often unable to discern the hidden messages woven into the fabric of each performance. During the war progressed, the technicians' efforts became increasingly audacious. They began to incorporate more complex signals into their productions, using music, props, and even costume changes to convey information. This evolution of their craft was a testament to their ingenuity and adaptability, as they continually sought new ways to outwit their oppressors. The theater technicians' contributions to the resistance were a beacon of hope in a time of darkness. Their actions demonstrated the profound impact that art and creativity could have in the fight against tyranny, serving as a reminder that even in the most oppressive circumstances, the human spirit could not be extinguished. As the curtain fell on each performance, the technicians knew that their work was far from over, but their resolve was unshaken, and their commitment to the cause unwavering. The culmination of their efforts came during a pivotal moment in the resistance movement. As the war entered its final stages, the technicians organized a grand performance that would serve as both a celebration of their achievements and a rallying cry for the Danish people. The event was meticulously planned, with every detail crafted to convey a message of hope and defiance. On the night of the performance, the theater was filled to capacity, the audience buzzing with anticipation. The technicians had devised a series of signals that would not only communicate vital information to resistance members in attendance but also inspire the broader audience to join Norway's fight for freedom. The atmosphere was electric, charged with a sense of purpose and determination. As the performance unfolded, the technicians executed their signals with precision. The actors, fully aware of the significance of their roles, delivered their lines with passion and conviction. Each cue, each moment of silence, was imbued with meaning, resonating deeply with the audience. The technicians watched from the shadows, their hearts racing as they witnessed the power of their craft in action. The performance culminated in a powerful finale, where the technicians unleashed a series of visual and auditory signals that conveyed a message of unity and resilience. The audience erupted in applause, their spirits lifted by the performance's message of hope. In that moment, the technicians knew that they had succeeded in their mission. They had not only communicated vital information to the resistance but had also inspired a collective sense of purpose among the Danish people. As the applause echoed through the theater, the technicians felt a surge of pride and determination. They understood that their work was far from over, but they were emboldened by the knowledge that they had made a difference. The theater, once a place of entertainment, had become a powerful instrument of resistance, where creativity and defiance intertwined to forge a new narrative of hope and liberation. In the days that followed, the effect of the performance rippled through the resistance community. Reports of increased recruitment and renewed energy among resistance members flooded in, as the technicians' signals had galvanized a movement that was already gaining momentum. The theater had become a symbol of defiance, a place where the spirit of resistance could flourish. As the conflict neared the technicians reflected on their journey. They had faced unimaginable challenges, yet their commitment to the cause had never wavered. The theater, with its rich tapestry of stories and characters, had provided them with a platform to express their ideals and inspire others to join Norway's fight for freedom. The enduring legacy of the theater technicians was a powerful reminder of the role that art can play in the struggle for liberation. Their ingenuity and bravery had not only contributed to the resistance but had also transformed the cultural landscape of Denmark. As the nation emerged from the shadows of occupation, the technicians knew that their work would endure, a testament to the power of creativity and the indomitable will of those who dared to dream of a better world. As 1944 drew to a close, the cost of resistance became increasingly apparent. The German authorities, aware of the growing defiance within Denmark, intensified their crackdown on suspected resistance activities. The theater technicians, whose signals had become a lifeline for the resistance, found themselves under heightened scrutiny, their every move watched by the ever-vigilant eyes of the occupiers. The threat of discovery loomed large, casting a shadow over the vibrant theater community. The technicians faced the grim reality of the risks they had undertaken. The consequences of their actions were severe, with the specter of arrest, imprisonment, or worse hanging over them. Despite the danger, the technicians remained resolute in their commitment to the cause. They understood that their work was not just an act of defiance but a vital contribution to the broader struggle for freedom. The theater, once a place of escapism and entertainment, had become a battleground where the forces of creativity and oppression clashed in a silent war for the soul of Denmark. The German authorities, determined to crush the resistance, launched a series of raids on suspected hideouts and safe houses. The arrests that followed were swift and brutal, with many resistance members captured and subjected to harsh interrogations. Among those taken were several theater technicians, whose bravery and ingenuity had made them targets of the regime's wrath. The loss of these individuals was a devastating blow to the resistance, but their sacrifice was not in vain. Their courage inspired others within the community to step forward and continue the fight, ensuring that the flame of resistance would not be extinguished. The theater, now a symbol of resilience and defiance, became a rallying point for those who refused to bow to tyranny. The reprisals against the civilian population were equally severe, with the Germans employing a strategy of intimidation and fear to quell dissent. Yet, the brutality of their actions only served to strengthen the resolve of the Danish people, who rallied around the resistance in a show of unity and solidarity. The technicians, aware of the risks they faced, took measures to protect themselves and their loved ones. They developed new methods of communication, using coded messages and secret rendezvous to coordinate their activities. The theater, with its labyrinthine backstage corridors and hidden alcoves, provided a refuge where they could plan and strategize away from prying eyes. As the war dragged on, the technicians' work took on a new urgency. They knew that there was insight, but the road to liberation was fraught with peril. The price of resistance was high, but the technicians were willing to pay it, driven by a fierce determination to see their country free from the yoke of occupation. In the face of adversity, the technicians' actions became a powerful testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Their bravery and ingenuity served as a beacon of hope for a nation under siege, reminding the world that even in the darkest of times, the light of freedom could not be extinguished. As the final act of their struggle played out on the stage of history, the technicians knew that their legacy would endure, a testament to the power of art and the indomitable will of those who dared to dream of a better world. The moral dilemmas faced by the technicians were profound. They grappled with the implications of their actions, weighing the risks against the potential benefits. Each performance became a balancing act, where the desire to resist clashed with the instinct for self-preservation. The technicians were acutely aware that their work could lead to dire consequences, not only for themselves but for their families and the wider community. The fear of arrest and retribution loomed large, yet the call to action was undeniable. The technicians often found themselves at a crossroads, questioning the ethics of their choices. Was it right to put their lives on the line for a cause that could lead to further suffering? Could they justify the risks they took, knowing that their actions could endanger others? These questions haunted him as they navigated the treacherous landscape of occupation, forcing them to confront the complexities of resistance in a time of war. Despite the dangers, the technicians drew strength from their shared commitment to the cause. They formed bonds of solidarity, united by a common purpose that transcended their individual fears. The theater became a sanctuary where they could express their hopes and dreams, a space where the power of art could be harnessed in the fight against tyranny. As the war progressed, the technicians' resolve only deepened. They understood that their actions were part of a larger narrative, one that would shape the future of Denmark. The sacrifices they made were not just for their own freedom, but for the generations to come. They believed in the transformative power of art, and their commitment to the cause became a driving force that propelled them forward, even in the face of overwhelming odds. The consequences of their actions were not limited to their immediate circle. The theater technicians' bravery inspired others to join the resistance, creating a ripple effect that reverberated throughout the community. Their story became a source of inspiration, encouraging individuals from all walks of life to stand up against oppression and fight for their rights. As the conflict neared its, the technicians reflected on the journey they had undertaken. They had faced unimaginable challenges and made profound sacrifices, yet their commitment to the cause had never wavered. The theater, once a place of entertainment, had become a crucible of resistance, where the power of creativity had been harnessed in Norway's fight for freedom. The enduring legacy of the theater technicians would endure long after the war had ended. Their actions served as a reminder of the importance of standing up against tyranny, of using one's voice to challenge oppression. The consequences of their resistance were far-reaching, shaping the cultural landscape of post-war Denmark and inspiring future generations to recognize the potential for change. As the curtain fell on the final act of the war, the technicians knew that their story was far from over. They had played a vital role in the struggle for freedom, and their legacy would continue to inspire those who dared to dream of a better world. The theater, once a stage for performance, had become a symbol of resilience and hope, a testament to the enduring power of art in the face of adversity. As the curtain began to fall on the Second World War in 1945, the role of the theatre technicians in Copenhagen had evolved into something far greater than they could have ever imagined. What began as a desperate measure to communicate under the watchful eyes of the occupiers had transformed into a powerful testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the enduring power of art. The theatre, once a mere venue for entertainment, had become a crucible of resistance, where creativity and defiance intertwined to forge a new narrative of hope and liberation. The technicians, whose ingenuity and bravery had played a pivotal role in the resistance, found themselves at the forefront of a cultural renaissance that sought to reclaim Denmark's identity and heritage from the ashes of occupation. The year of the war marked a turning point for the theatre community, as the nation emerged from the shadows of tyranny into the light of freedom. The technicians, who had risked everything to aid the resistance, were hailed as heroes, their contributions celebrated as a testament to the power of art in the fight against oppression. The transformation of the theatre into a bastion of resistance was a reflection of the broader cultural shift that was taking place across Denmark. The arts, once seen as a mere diversion, had become a vital instrument of resistance, a means of preserving the nation's cultural heritage and asserting its autonomy in the face of foreign domination. The technicians' actions highlighted the importance of creativity and collaboration in the struggle for freedom. Their innovative methods of communication, born out of necessity, had become a symbol of the ingenuity and resourcefulness that defined the Danish resistance. The theatre, with its rich tapestry of stories and characters, provided a platform for the expression of ideas that transcended the boundaries of occupation. As Denmark began the process of rebuilding, the theatre community played a crucial role in shaping the nation's post-war identity. The technicians, whose work had been instrumental in the resistance, became ambassadors of a new cultural movement that sought to celebrate the resilience and creativity of the Danish people. The enduring legacy of the theatre technicians was a testament to the enduring power of art to inspire and unite in the face of adversity. Their actions served as a reminder that even in the darkest of times, the human spirit could not be extinguished, and that the creative impulse was a force for change and transformation. The transformation of the theatre into a symbol of resistance was a powerful reminder of the role that art can play in the struggle for freedom. The technicians, whose bravery and ingenuity had helped to shape the course of history, left a lasting impact on the cultural landscape of post-war Denmark, inspiring future generations to recognize the potential for resistance in even the most unlikely places. In the aftermath of the war, the technicians faced the challenge of reconciling their wartime experiences with the realities of peace. The trauma of occupation lingered, leaving scars that would take time to heal. Yet, the theatre provided a space for catharsis, allowing the technicians to process their experiences and share their stories with a wider audience. The post-war theatre scene flourished, as artists sought to explore themes of resilience, identity, and the human condition. The technicians, now celebrated figures within the community, became mentors to a new generation of artists, passing on their knowledge and experiences. They understood the importance of storytelling in shaping the collective memory of the nation, and they embraced their role as custodians of Denmark's cultural heritage. As the years passed, the technicians' contributions to the resistance were woven into the fabric of Denmark's national narrative. Their story became emblematic of the broader struggle for freedom, serving as a reminder of the sacrifices made by countless individuals in the fight against oppression. The theatre, once a site of covert communication, had transformed into a vibrant space for artistic expression and cultural celebration. The enduring legacy of the theatre technicians was not confined to the stage, it extended into the hearts and minds of the Danish people. Their bravery and ingenuity inspired a renewed sense of national pride, as the country emerged from the shadows of war into a brighter future. The technicians' actions served as a beacon of hope, reminding the nation of the power of creativity and collaboration in the face of adversity. As Denmark looked to the future, the theatre technicians' legacy served as a guiding light, a testament to the enduring power of art in the struggle for freedom. Their story was a reminder that even in the darkest of times, the human spirit could not be extinguished, and that the arts were a vital instrument of resistance, capable of transforming the world and shaping the course of history. The transformation of the theatre into a symbol of resilience and hope was a powerful reminder of the role that art can play in the struggle for freedom. The technicians, whose bravery and ingenuity had helped to shape the course of history, left a lasting impact on the cultural landscape of post-war Denmark, inspiring future generations to recognize the potential for resistance in even the most unlikely places. As the nation continued to reflect on its wartime experiences, the account of the theatre technicians remained a beacon of hope and inspiration, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, the human spirit cannot be extinguished. Their legacy would endure, a testament to the power of creativity and collaboration in the fight against tyranny, and a call to action for those who dared to dream of a better world. In the years following the liberation of Denmark, the contributions of the theatre technicians began to emerge from the shadows of history, revealing a narrative rich with bravery, ingenuity, and resilience. As the nation sought to rebuild and reflect on its wartime experiences, the stories of these unsung heroes became integral to the broader understanding of Denmark's resistance against the German occupation. Their actions, though often overlooked in the grand narratives of war, were emblematic of the power of creativity and the human spirit in the face of tyranny. The immediate aftermath of the war was a time of reckoning for Denmark. The nation was not only grappling with the physical and emotional scars left by the occupation, but also with the moral complexities of collaboration and resistance. In this context, the theatre technicians' contributions began to be recognized as a vital part of the resistance narrative. Their innovative methods of communication, born out of necessity and honed through perilous circumstances, were celebrated as a testament to the resilience of the Danish people. As Denmark transitioned into a period of reconstruction, the theatre community played a crucial role in shaping the national identity. The technicians, who had risked their lives to aid the resistance, became cultural ambassadors, sharing their stories and experiences with the public. They participated in discussions, interviews, and public forums, recounting their experiences and the significance of their work during the occupation. This newfound visibility helped to elevate their status from mere technicians to symbols of resistance, embodying the spirit of defiance that characterized the Danish struggle against oppression. The enduring legacy of the theatre technicians was further solidified through the establishment of memorials and commemorative events. In the years following the war, various cultural organizations and government bodies sought to honor those who had contributed to the resistance. The technicians were often included in these commemorations, with their stories woven into the fabric of national remembrance. The theatre itself became a site of reflection, where performances were dedicated to the memory of those who had fought for freedom, and where new works emerged that explored the themes of resistance, resilience, and the power of art. One notable initiative was the establishment of the Copenhagen Theatre Resistance Memorial, which sought to commemorate the contributions of all those involved in the theatre community during the occupation. This memorial served not only as a tribute to the technicians but also as a reminder of the vital role that art played in the struggle for freedom. It became a gathering place for artists, historians, and citizens alike, fostering a sense of community and shared purpose in remembering the past. In addition to memorials, the enduring legacy of the theatre technicians found its way into educational curricula. Schools and universities began to incorporate the stories of resistance into their history lessons, ensuring that future generations would understand the significance of these contributions. The technicians' actions were framed not just as acts of defiance, but as powerful examples of how creativity and collaboration could challenge oppression. This educational focus helped to cultivate a sense of pride in Denmark's cultural heritage and reinforced the idea that art could be a force for change. As the years passed, the effect of the theatre technicians extended beyond Denmark's borders. Their story resonated with audiences around the world, inspiring artists, activists, and historians to explore the intersections of art and resistance in their own contexts. The technicians' innovative methods of communication became a case study in the power of creativity to effect change, prompting discussions about the role of the arts in social movements and the importance of preserving cultural expression in times of crisis. The enduring legacy of the theatre technicians also served as a reminder of the importance of vigilance in the face of tyranny. Their experiences highlighted the fragility of freedom and the necessity of standing up against oppression, no matter the cost. This message resonated particularly in the context of the Cold War, as Denmark and other nations navigated the complexities of a divided world. The technician's story became a symbol of hope and resilience, reminding citizens of the importance of defending democratic values and human rights. In contemporary Denmark, the contributions of the theatre technicians are celebrated as a vital part of the nation's cultural heritage. Their legacy is honored through various artistic endeavors, including theatre productions, films, and literature that explore the themes of resistance and resilience. These works serve not only to commemorate the past, but also to inspire new generations to recognize the potential for resistance in their own lives. The effect of the theatre technicians is perhaps most poignantly captured in the annual Festival of Resistance, held in Copenhagen. This festival celebrates the spirit of defiance and creativity that characterized the Danish resistance during the occupation. It features performances, workshops, and discussions that explore the role of art in social change, drawing connections between the past and present. The festival serves as a powerful reminder of the enduring legacy of the theatre technicians and the importance of preserving the freedom to create and express. As Denmark continues to reflect on its wartime experiences, the account of the theatre technicians remains a beacon of hope and inspiration. Their actions serve as a testament to the enduring power of creativity and collaboration in the fight against tyranny. The technician's legacy is a powerful reminder that even in the darkest of times, the human spirit cannot be extinguished, and that art can be a vital instrument of resistance and transformation. In conclusion, the theatre technicians of Copenhagen emerged from the shadows of history as unsung heroes whose contributions to the resistance during the German occupation were both innovative and courageous. Their legacy is a testament to the power of art in the struggle for freedom, a reminder that creativity can flourish even in the most oppressive circumstances. As Denmark continues to honor their memory, the story of these technicians serves as an enduring symbol of resilience, inspiring future generations to recognize the potential for resistance in their own lives and to cherish the freedoms that have been hard-won.